Another great humanitarian waging the battle against sickness and want was the late Dr. Tom Dooley. Florence Rose, Executive Director of Meals for Millions, and Ernest Chamberlain, Secretary, had supported Dr. Dooley since the first time he requested multipurpose food for his hospitals in Laos and other countries.
I wish I could take every American who supports your foundation and take all of you who work in an office here over to my place. I wish I could fly you half a world away and take you to my little village. I want to take you to a high mountain valley in a kingdom in the northern tip of Southeast Asia, the kingdom called the land of Laos. High in the northern valley, you'll find a hospital in the village called Muang Sing. And now, come along with me to a clinic, to a small outpatient clinic. Every day, for many years, my crew and I have gone to this little building to see the endless line of sick, wretched, tired, and saddened people. Children like this remind me of the words of the poet who said, "There is only one child in the world, and his name is all children." We care for these people who line up in front of us every day. We care for them with all of the medicines that America has given to us, with the money that have sent us over here, and with whatever faint breath of talent that we possess ourselves. But I think the most important thing that we have to maintain here is a constancy of our purpose. Perhaps this is one of the secrets of success. The mothers bring their children to us in complete trust of us. In the beginning, no, but later on, they learn to have trust. They come to us with every single problem that is in the book, and a few that I cannot find in any book. The Kako women come to us most regularly. These are the most primitive of all the tribes of Southeast Asia, and some of the most primitive people in all the world. The clinic goes on for hours upon hours upon hours. All around my compound is a constant bustle of activity. The children playing or just looking around or certainly eyeing a camera. The parents squatting outside under the shade of the rain ramp while waiting for their turn. And the Kako women, the most primitive of all tribes, sometimes go outside to get their shot. They wear their skirts hanging kind of low on their hips. This is very chic to them, and it's very convenient for us, at least for giving an injection. There are a great many sick people in this valley. There are sick people behind these bright flowers, behind these homes. This man has a very simple disease. It is a thing called ignorance. He had a mild infection of one of his knees about a year ago, and so he got in bed, and he just stayed in bed. And as a consequence, his knees froze in that position. It's not what we call a bony freezing, because the bones are good, but the muscles just all shrunk up until his legs were in that position. All that needs is a couple of months of hospitalization with proteins and vitamins. Does me no good to take the patient in an isolated examining room and treat him. I must surround myself by all my interpreters and my nurses and students and anybody else and explain why this guy is sick. Explain the ignorance of it and teach them how to become less ignorant and to care for themselves a little better. That's why everybody's listening and why we're doing so much talking here. The man came out very well, and he's back leading a fuller life. But theirs is a still sad song of humanity. Without us and our medicine, without us, they have nothing, not even hope. We as Americans, and we in the free world, and we with all the blessings and the wonderful things that we have in our country, must take care of people like this. When we come here to Asia, we, the teams of Medico, we want to give these people more than just goods and gadgets, more than just medicines and inoculations and back rubs. We want to give them something of the spirit, something of ourselves. And I don't just mean the external husk but rather the kernel, the substance, and the marrow of us. This is what all the people who support you have done through you here to us out there.
If we can only keep him doing that after he leaves you, that's our big problem in the community.
Yes, at the same token that while we're treating that child, we sit that mother down and we say, now listen, dear, you learn how to feed that baby. Your jungle's full of peanuts. Your jungle's full of bananas. Your jungle's full of lettuce. Your jungle's full of these things. Feed that child right. But they don't understand this. They nurse the child and then they take the child off the breast and put the child right on a bowl of rice and some congee. When these people come to me and say, Cook Chai, thank you, doctor, I think that I should like to bring along cameras and radios and television sets and put it all into a can and bring it home here to you so that you could hear their thunder of thanks, so that the people who support your foundation could hear their thanks. Every day, abdominal wounds that I've done surgically operated on that won't heal up if we give them adequate proteins through multi-purpose food. Every day, underdeveloped kids from birth increased in their skin tissue because they get Meals for Millions. I use Meals for Millions as an instrument of good, an instrument of compassion, an instrument of help every single day. I think that you could almost say that the can of Meals for Millions at my side is Dooley's third hand. You have helped us a great deal in our programs of Medico in Vietnam and in Laos, in Kenya, Cambodia, in Peru, and you're not finished yet because I'm here to say now, will you help us in the Middle East, in our New Saigon project in Afghanistan, and in the 17 projects of Medico now. Therefore, I, as a member of Medico, say to you at Meals for Millions, how about it? Will you give us enough for 17 more teams so that about 2,000 people a day in our area can get their ounce of protein?
Tom, out of all the gifts that Meals for Millions makes of multi-purpose food, I don't think there's any gift in which we take greater satisfaction. As long as the money keeps coming in for Meals for Millions, you can be sure that every 3 cents will be taken care of.
2 of Dr. Dooley's strong, sure hands are still, but his third hand continues to serve.
You mentioned earlier about it being the answer to world starvation. Now, it may be, but you can't say that just because it works on a small local scale, 10 cartons here and 20 cartons there.
Will it work on a large scale? Well, the proof of that was demonstrated in India, where starvation has reached monstrous proportions. The government of India was faced with the gravest food crisis any nation has ever encountered. Food from abroad, sent for relief, however welcome, is only half a bridge to the solution of the problem of malnutrition. But the government of India is far-sighted. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "To a hungry man, God always appears in the form of bread." India's Minister for Agriculture, Dr. P.S. Deshmukh, and eminent scientists of India are attempting to provide that bread. Dr. Radha Karnad, Nutrition Officer of the Ministry of Health, is also concerned. They know that Gandhi wanted to have feeding trials carried on before his tragic assassination. The tests he authorized were the first of many carried on between 1947 and 1955 with the 11 million meals of multipurpose food sent from the United States by concerned Americans. In 1955, Dr. Deshmukh accepted an invitation from Florence Rose, then in India, to serve as president of the Indian Meals for Millions program. Dr. Karnad agreed to serve as secretary of the Meals for Millions Association of India. This is a program to provide MPF in India from Indian materials not being used as human food, the kind of food, protein food, usually lacking in most relief feeding programs. Enlisting 20th century food science in a do-it-yourself program in creating a new kind of food. How many people she talked to, how many steps she climbed, how many miles she walked and words she spoke, Dr. Karnad could not say. But there was encouragement from high places. Prime Minister Nehru had said of MPF,